October is Dyslexia Awareness Month and the whole world will go red for dyslexia. Join us on 28th of October. Wear the red outfit as we light up the UAP on Mucho Red for dyslexia.
Where will you be watching the glow from? Is your child write B instead of D? Is your child phobic to the red pen due to the numerous X wrongs they get from teacher's marking pen? Do they refer to your child as a slow learner? Your child is simply dyslexic. To be part of the sponsor and for more information about dyslexia, kindly contact 0722 380 952. Let's go red for dyslexia.
Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now.
From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday, it's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
It is time, of course, and when it is Monday, it is definitely the Bottom Line KE Day. My name, as always, is Eugene Andangwe. Very happy to see you, very happy to have you on the program. It is the 20th day of the month of September. I'm sure for most of us, we are edging closer to payday, but of course we understand that every Monday we get to discuss and dissect some of the key political events that have taken place in the country as we try to understand the journey towards the 2022 vote. On the program today we'll be discussing a very important matter, and that matter has to do with the issue-based politics in this country. Is it really possible for this country to embark on a very serious issue-based politics? That is the question we're asking tonight. Would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Is it really possible, or do you feel that we'll continue having personality-based politics or tribal-based politics? Can we disagree on issues as a country when it comes to the political nature of our country? That's the question we're asking tonight. And all you need to do to be part of this conversation is tweet us, and the hashtag to use as always is TheBottomLineKE. We'll be happy to sample them in the course of the program. Remember, we are live on Lookup TV and across all our social media platforms, all our fans on our Facebook page. Thank you so much. Feel free to leave a comment below right there, and we'll also be able to read them in the course of the program. If you're on Twitter, we are also live streaming right there. Also on our YouTube page, that is Lookup TV. Now, we've been asking a lot of these particular questions, and you've also been sharing your thoughts on this. And I see Peter Mbugwa, who already responded to this question. Is issue-based politics achievable in Kenya? And this is what Peter Mbugwa says. Not that. It's only 10 minutes remaining for the show, of course, but then he comes to say that unless there is a major paradigm shift within the media spaces. I would love to understand more that particular comment. Why do you feel the media has a major role to play in ensuring that we have issue-based politics? I'm sure we have started that. Solutions-focused conversations. That conversation starts right now. Let me introduce my panelists. We have Joe Halende joining us virtually. Joe, thank you so much for stepping in. We are not able to have Bwana Pesa, who could not be able to join us. The last message he sent me, he said, I am held up in Karen with my boss, and that is the Deputy President, William Ruto. And so we said, show must go on, but who is Joe Halende? He's joined us on short notice. Joe, asante sana for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much, my brother Eugene.
Yes.
And I was even wondering, mbona uniiti siku hizi bwana kwa hii show? But lucky enough leo umeweza kuniita. And don't worry. You see my boss Pesa, he also has his bigger boss.
Right.
Sasa sisi watu ya mkono wacha tuingilie kati.
Yes.
We see how we can solve the situation.
Right. Perfect. I am also not just with Joe Halende. I want to introduce our other panelist, and I'm going to do that in just a bit. And she is none other than Nerea. Nerea is actually joining us on set right here physically. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation tonight.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Kwanza acha nikuje hapo karibu so that we can be able to have a great conversation.
Please.
Right here. So Nerea is actually, she is the MCA, Homa Bay County. You are representing the Orange Democratic Movement. Thank you so much for making time to be part of the show.
Well, I'm a bit disappointed.
Why?
In the UDA party. I would like to know whether the executive director is not sharpened enough to face me. But I think it's quite incompetent of him to miss this show.
This kind of
so I want that to go on record.
Right.
Because we are going to have a rematch, and I want you here so that we can speak about these issues.
Right.
You can bring your UDA. I will have my ODM standing, waiting to put you on the spot.
Nerea.
Right, Joe Halende is here. Ebu ongea na Joe kwanza. Just talk to Joe. Yes.
The issue is not about having Pesa or Danga Pesa on the show. Actually, the issue is UDA being able to be represented. And I think my executive director is capable enough, and he earned that position because of being competent, being energetic, and being a visionary, youthful leader. So the issue of trying to underestimate our executive director is neither here or there.
To show up, you show up, support the party position, morally, immorally, with all your body parts. So right now, I do not see all his body parts here, and that's the issue at hand. Well, I hope you do a good job. So, karibu sana.
But Nerea, Odanga Pesa is an executive director of the current most popular party in this country.
Right.
So he's engaged somewhere, and some of us who are also party members can ably represent this party.
Right. It's only just a few seconds into the program, and I'm already seeing some fireworks right here. I'm hoping that we're going to have a very great conversation. Listen, Joe and Honorable Nerea, I think we need to have a very sober conversation about this country, especially politically speaking. And the question we're asking ourselves tonight, is it really possible? Can we achieve a solutions-focused and more so issue-based politics in this particular country? Because in many cases, we have seen our politics aligned towards the issue of Mutuetu, aligned towards the issue of name calling, aligned towards the issue of, it's never been issue-based, it's never been issue-based. What is your take? Is it possible?
I think this is a timely conversation, Eugene. First off, we have an excellent example in moving away from tribal-based politics, in moving away from personality-based politics, and now we have Azimio la Umoja. That is making sure that every corner of this country is represented. And number one, you have already seen that as ODM, our party leader is already way ahead, speaking about what issues there are for the young people of this country. And he has put out his agenda for the young people, stating specifically that we need a tax holiday of 7 years, that we need to have a moratorium on health loans, that we need to have a youth commission, we need to have representation. So every issue that needs to be addressed, we are speaking about it. And the good thing is we are cascading it up to the ward level where we are going to be vying for positions, different positions up to constituency, the gubernatorial, up to the presidency in this country.
Right.
So I think we already have these examples. Sometimes we suffer from lack of foresight in this country. And I want to appreciate President Uhuru Kenyatta for one thing. He said that it is time indeed for this country to have a president that is not from the two communities that have dominated the presidency. Why did he say that? Because we need to bring Kenyans together to feel the oneness of this country.
Right.
So we still have renewed hope that we are walking a journey. And yes, I am unapologetically supporting the candidature for the presidency of Raila Amolo Odinga. I support him for reasons that he has stuck to what he believes in.
So issue-based politics is possible in the country.
It is possible in the country.
And the ODM party is already spearheading that. That's what you say.
We are already running with it, Eugene.
Right.
I don't know whether UDA is already running with it. You may tell us.
Let me hear from Joe Halende. Joe, Honorable Nerea says it is practical, it is possible. The ODM party, led by the Right Honorable Prime Minister or former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, is already doing that through his what he's been able to outline in the past week. Is this what you also see from where you sit, Joe?
I want to remind our viewers that one time the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto said that we must have a conversation in this country, however painful it is, and however painful and however it will make some people unemployed in this country, because certain people for a very long time, they have been selling a political agenda based on ethnic based. But this time round, as a country, we must have a conversation, an economic conversation, an empowerment conversation, a merit-based politics. It is William Ruto who started this conversation. And I'm glad that Honorable MCA Nerea has accepted that even ODM has abandoned his tribal arithmetic. Now they are on board on issue-based politics. And that is where we are headed. And I will love to state this, that let ODM come out clearly and say that they are out of those ethnic policy organization to issue-based politics. So that if we are to talk about the issue of economy, let ODM give us their rightful model that they think can change the economy of this country. Because what I believe in as a UDA supporter is that UDA has clearly submitted its economic model to the people of this country. And the people of this country are interrogating that economic model. And on that note, the Deputy President is from finishing an economic forum, Lower Eastern Economic Forum today, where he has interacted with the people of Lower Eastern, and they have stated issues that the Lower Eastern feel should be included in the bigger bottom-up economic manifesto that UDA is propagating. And that is the politics we want. The other week, we were doing our Western Economic Forum. And as the people of the Mulembe Nation, we stated categorically issues that we would like the government, the next government that will be formed by Honorable William Samoei Ruto, should be addressed. Let this politics of positions, that each tribe, at the end of the day, the positions that are being created are 5. For 5 bigger community. What about the Elmolos? What about the Turkanas? If you are talking about inclusivity, the inclusivity that the people of this country today are suffering, it is economic exclusivity. That's where people want. Today, the person in Busia, in Matayos, Bulanda village, is suffering the same way a person in Gatundu is suffering. The same way a person in Samburu is suffering. And the unfortunate state that is happening in Laikipia, these issues that have been intertwined between cultural and economic issues have been leading to this problem. But the political elite and the political class have been taking Kenyans for a ride, saying that it's an ethnic issue. It is not an ethnic issue. And how do you solve the ethnic issue? You bring people within a political party first. Then you solve the tribal card. Then you allow people to engage into issue-based politics. Now we start a conversation of the economy, a conversation how we should solve our national debt, our conversation how we should have a robust healthcare system that will help the people of this country.
Right. I see Nerea is itching to respond here. Nerea, first of all, he says that he's happy that finally the former Prime Minister, your party leader, has abandoned the ethnic line of thinking in terms of politics to issue-based.
I am mortified.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
You know ODM had an MP called Mpuria Buri in Meru on... Do you remember that we had an ODM MP in Meru? I do not know whether that man is a Luo. I do not know when the DP, William Samoei Ruto, reinvented this thing you call now the issue-based politics. I do not understand. Because the last I recall was he was galvanizing the Kalenjin community and the Kikuyu community so that they can vote for them to avoid the ICC charges. I remember very well. I don't know where you lose your train of thought. Because what I know is Raila Amolo Odinga campaigned single-handedly, drove the ambulance that took Mwai Kibaki to the airport because he did not trust the ambulance driver. And that is a man from the Mount Kenya community.
And this is a fact you have.
That is a fact. And we campaigned for Mwai Kibaki when he was on a wheelchair. I do not know why at that point Raila was not, quote-unquote, inventing, or making sure he's participating in tribal-based. I think Kenyans will judge you very harshly. As the UDA party, I think you're called UDA, but sometimes we run away with it because the kind of udaku you are spreading this country, I think is dangerous for even your own political experience and political success. Because when you sit there and you claim different things that we don't understand, look at where the party leader of ODM has come from. The repeal of Section 2A of the Constitution. You remember Sabasaba? He was fighting alongside who? If he did not care about this country, if he did not care about this country, we would not even be seated here. Under the Moi regime, Eugene would have been arrested before getting into this studio to discuss what we are discussing. We are trying to talk about issue-based politics, eliminating tribal-based, but I can tell you that when you bring the issue of tribe, do not make tribe a negative conversation in this country. I think that is where the problem is. Because in the political minefield that we are in right now, we tend to look at tribe from that negative perspective, and then we bring them and pit them against each other. Because right now, I know that where you're coming from, the western part, and I can tell you that you are practicing the worst form of tribal politics. Western is where we have the worst, because they cannot even agree. You have a party that has 10 people, officials from the same tribe. And then you run away and go and try to sort out the membership in UDA, thinking that your house is very safe. But clearly, I don't know, maybe you are referring to the group called OCA. But I don't think you would be referring to ODM when you're talking about issue-based and tribal-based politics. Look at every document that we have. Look at the ODM manifesto in 2013. Look at that same manifesto in 2017. Look at what Raila Amolo Odinga has now in terms of Azimio. Look at what he spoke about in the coast when we had the Azimio Coast Edition. I was in Western Kakamega. I was in Homa Bay. I was in Kisii. The message is very consistent that we are leaving Kenyans behind, regardless of tribe, regardless of social status. Yes.
I want to ask both of you. I see Helende shaking his head. He's like probably digesting that, and I'm going to give you a chance to rebuttal or give your take on that. But I want to ask both of you, starting with Joe. Right now, a Kenyan who's preparing to vote in 2022 will feel that, especially if they've been part and parcel of those who partake in the voting exercise in the previous elections, they'll feel like, hii ni kawaida. This is the normal trend of these politicians. 5 years or closer to the fifth year for elections, they will come back to us and they'll sell to us all these beautiful manifestos, all this sloganeering and all that. But tumewazoea. Where were you? And I want to ask this, Joe, assuming that you even hold the brief for the UDA party leader, the one that you said is actually now talking about issues that we needed to have talked about. I saw someone asking, where was William Ruto to speak about the Mama Mboga for the last 8-9 years that he's been in office. Why now? What has changed? Why today? And I'll come back to you, Honorable Nerea, to ask you the same question. Why now? Where was Raila Odinga throughout his historical political journey to be able to speak about the things that you say he's speaking about ahead of 2022 in terms of trying to change the country? Joe, I'll take you on that. You go first.
Yes. Now, thank you, Eugene, for that question. But before I answer you, let me highlight something about which Mheshimiwa has raised.
Yeah.
And the thing nowadays, I think ODM have perfected the art of being history teachers. And I see the same characteristic the same picture that the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga has perfected the art of being a historian. I'm seeing her good student, Nerea, is also trying to execute the same scheme of being a good history teacher. But one thing among the importance, I'm also a good history student, and the importance of history, of learning from history, is that we must use history to predict and determine our future. We cannot live in the past. We cannot remain in the past. We must be able to look into the past and be able to predict the future and help us going forward. Going forward, we are saying that for this country, we need to have issue-based politics. We need to have politics that talks about the problem of the common mwananchi. The other day, the Right Honorable Prime Minister was referring to boda bodas and mama mboga as takataka. On Sunday, he posted agenda for the youth. And among his agenda, one was to set up a fund for the boda boda sector. Then you start asking yourself certain questions. What is this wrong with our political elite class that whatever they talk and whatever they interrogate and digest and they give people is totally different? Because on this one side, you refer to mama mboga, boda boda as takataka. The next day, you realize that is the in thing. You pretend now, you have now converted. Now you can advocate the issues of the boda boda, the issues of the mama mboga.
Back to my question.
Back to my question.
Yes.
If you go to a hospital, the person who can treat you in a hospital is the doctor. You will explain to the doctor the problem that you have, and the doctor will interrogate this problem and give you a diagnosis and actually tells you that you are suffering from malaria, and this is the medicine. You should go to the chemist and buy this one and swallow this one. Today, today the deputy president is telling us, having been the deputy president of this country, having served as a minister, having been an MP, I'm best suited to execute this economic model that addresses the issues of the people at the bottom of the pyramid.
Based on
and
what?
We can be able to solve
based
the
on
issue
what?
of...
Based on experience in being in government, based on being a hustler, based on what?
It is an accumulation of all these things. And from that point, I can be able to answer you that William is the rightful person who is qualified to give the right answers to this issue. And again, on our economic model, it does not make William Ruto necessarily the expert of issues to do with the people from the Mlembe nation. The bottom-up economic approach gives him a platform where the people of Western will state their problem and they will state the way they want the problems within Western to be solved.
Joe,
because the problem and the issues that affect the people of Western are at some times totally different from the problems that affect the people of the coast.
Yeah,
and
Joe,
in the same way, the problem that affect the people of Laikipia.
I think you're pivoting. I think you're pivoting. The question was simple. The question was, for the last 9 years, where or why now are we seeing that shift or paradigm shift in terms of line of thought of the deputy president, saying that now it's time to focus on Mama Mboga, now it's time to focus on Mtu wa Boda Boda, while I had a panelist seated on this particular set who said that we have had the worst 8-9 years of our government, or as a nation. This seems to be one of the worst times in terms of governance, in terms of the state of living and all that. Where was the deputy president, who's actually number 2 in command, in fixing those particular issues that we should now believe that if elected in 2022, he will sort them out?
Where was he? He was the deputy president, and he's still the deputy president. And the best way is this. He has been the deputy president, the principal assistant to the president. But the buck stops with the president. And he's asking for an opportunity to be able to sort out this problem. And that opportunity he can only be given through the ballot. He cannot be given that opportunity through another means. It's through the ballot.
So if he's not president, he will not be able to fix this. And if he hasn't been president, he could not have fixed any of these problems. That's what you're saying.
Because the best way I can answer your question is about Mwai Kibaki. In 1965, Mwai Kibaki, a young man, wrote a paper with the help of Tom Mboya called the Sensation Paper number 10. Mwai Kibaki and Tom Mboya believed in those things in the Sensation Paper. What did the successive government do? They shelved that paper. Until when Kibaki was the president in 2002, up to 2013, most of the things that Kibaki implemented are basically in the Sensation Paper number 10. So you cannot say that being a deputy president, you are in a position to solve those issues. At the end of the day, these issues, the buck stops with the president. If you are the president, you can implement your vision, you can implement your agenda, you can implement everything that you believe in that can help the people.
Right.
But being a principal assistant, you only assist your president. And what he has categorically says this. Being the principal assistant to Uhuru Kenyatta, basically there are two things. One is to unite the country, two is to transform this country. And that's what they did, because we moved from a hostile environment of 2007, 2008 to an environment where the communities that were fighting were united. Now we started transforming, building the road network, building the infrastructure, building schools, building all those things that we are talking about today, connecting people to the electricity, connecting water, were done under Jubilee government.
Okay. So it is Nerea's turn, Honorable Nerea. I mean, the Right Honorable former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, is now outlining his 2022 plan for the youth. He's spoken about the 7-year tax break. He's also talked about extending tax incentives to organizations and companies offering youth employment. Honorable Raila Odinga has been in power, or in positions closer to power, even before most of us were born. I mean, myself, I was not even born yet. The question that I've just asked Halende about the deputy president, why now? All these years, why now?
I think fair question.
These issues, yes.
Fair question, Eugene. But first, I think thank you for acknowledging that, my party leader Raila Amolo Odinga is excellent at history and uses history to actually inform the way forward. So thank you very much, because I've seen that UDA also through you has now declared that they are good, but they're not better than us. I think that's very good acknowledgement. And number two, I think the person of Raila Amolo Odinga is a higher level politician. And so I think as the ODM party, I will speak very authoritatively and say we are not going to be responsible for the lack of understanding of what Raila Amolo Odinga speaks on your part or on the part of any UDA official or supporter. Because when you say that Raila Amolo Odinga stood and called Mama Mboga takataka and called the Boda Boda guys takataka, I wonder where he said that. Because I can tell you here, sitting here, I will produce the clip, because number one, what I know is the sloganeering that you're pushing is very dangerous. And he told you that kind of sloganeering is not backed by some economic sense that everybody can understand. Because even UDA members, including members of parliament, cannot even explain that kind of sloganeering. So it typically means that if you cannot understand it, then it must be something that should be rubbished in the face of everybody else who is reasonable and wants to make Kenya a better country. And so coming back to your question, looking at, right now there is already a bill in the County Assembly of Nairobi. They want to rename Mbagathi Way to Raila Odinga Road. Why do they want to do that? Because Raila Amolo Odinga was in parliament and in government in 2005 when that road was constructed. And might I add, he was a minister for roads. And might I add that if you look at the demolitions that occurred from all the way on Thika Road, we got a lot of backlash. Raila Amolo Odinga suffered politically for that. But who is enjoying the benefit of that kind of infrastructure? Who is enjoying the benefit of Mbagathi Road right now that has not had a single pothole? Wouldn't you say that he performed in that time for him to be bestowed the honor of having that road renamed to Raila Amolo Odinga?
But the common Mwananchi will say, naming a road by Raila's name, how does that help put food on my table? We have a Tuoli who there's a street named after him, and people have been back and forth.
Yeah. Because number one,
so how does that change?
We have to start on bestowing the honor. Number two, you asked a very specific issue, and you asked what he has done or not done, having been a part of government.
Correct.
And look at we call it now, quote unquote, the Nusu Mkate government. I think we all know how that went after we all campaigned. And if you look at that time, in terms of functionality, I look at the steps that we even made. It is only that time that all parts of Kenya started seeing the fruit of their taxes. Remember, there has been systemic or systematic alienation of areas or regions of this country that had never supported the government of their day. But we saw that things changed because Raila Amolo Odinga has the backing of over half of the voters of this country. You cannot ignore that. You cannot ignore that. And we cannot sit here and say in all honesty that why now? Why hasn't he done it? Raila Amolo Odinga has tried to even do this thing through the BBI process. Why? Raila Amolo Odinga has time and time again proven to Kenyans that he has them in mind. Look at devolution. Who was the biggest proponent of devolution? And that money has gone to each and every one of our 47 counties. And look at the impact it has had. You are talking about starting a bottom-up economic model, but you do not know that we already have devolved structures that are delivering services. And take very critical examples of Kitui County. Look at how Governor Ngilu is delivering through devolution. Who do we have to thank for that? So we are saying that we have good examples of what he has done and achieved. We cannot write him off. We have to give him the respect of a statesman. And the other thing, I want to agree with you. Having been deputy president and elected on the ballot, granted, I did not vote for him. I did not trust that he can deliver. And for sure, he has not been able to advise the president. In my culture, if you have a good relationship, then it will show in your body. Currently, I have an excellent relationship with my husband. It is showing in my body. Look at President Uhuru right now. The man is literally glowing. But in 2013, 2017, he didn't even look like a president who is having a meal in peace. So I can tell you that Raila Amolo Odinga is even responsible for Uhuru Kenyatta's body that we are seeing and we are impressed with right now. For the peace of mind that the president has in State House, Eugene. Some of these things we will touch and feel. Some of them, they are in our hearts. And I thank him for that. I can come here and speak because I have seen the difference.
Right.
Yes.
Perfect. So, Joe and Honorable, we're going to take a very short break. I want you to digest and hold up the thoughts that you have that you wanted to just say right now. But I want us to take a very short break. When we come back, we move the conversation forward. How do we ensure that we cement the issues that concern Kenyans, not just during electioneering periods, that we make this part and parcel of our conversations across all platforms, political, non-political, governmental, non-governmental, just to ensure that the country is moving forward and not just waiting for wooing voters with these slogans and with these policies. All right, so stay with us. We're going to take a very short break. And of course, we'd like you to share your thoughts on the statements that have been made on this program so far. Are you agreeing with Joe Halenda? Are you agreeing with Honorable Nerea? Are you having any variant thoughts concerning the politics of the country? Can we achieve an issue-based political process and system in this country? That's the question we're asking tonight. The hashtag is the bottom line, KE. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Grow your business, broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries, then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700-893-542
or email us on sales@luke-up.tv.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile. And having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Please make those payments and take dinner out the freezer. Enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. Another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Did you know the world's top icons and legends who have made history are dyslexic? Dyslexia is a learning disorder that is characterized by difficulty in reading due to problems with identifying speech sounds and learning how they relate to letters and words. Dyslexia affects areas of the brain that process language. Symptoms include delayed speech, learning new words slowly, and a delay in reading. These legends made it, and so can your child.
Nairobi, are you ready? October is Dyslexia Awareness Month and the whole world will go red for dyslexia. Join us on 28th of October. Wear the red outfit as we light up the UAP on Mucho Red for dyslexia.
Where will you be watching the glow from? Does your child write B instead of D? Is your child phobic to the red pen due to the numerous X wrongs they get from teachers' marking pen? Do they refer to your child as a slow learner? Your child is simply dyslexic. To be part of the sponsor and for more information about dyslexia, kindly contact 0722 380 952. Let's go red for dyslexia.
Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now.
Right, welcome back. Thank you so much for still being with us. We do not take it for granted that you have chosen to watch us tonight and to be part of the conversation that we're having. Is Kenya able to achieve an issue-based politics? You know, can we be able to vote for or against someone based on the issues that they bring on the table? Or what is it that informs your choice of actually deciding to pick a candidate who's running for office? That's the conversation we're having tonight. What interests you? So far, the people who have said they want to throw themselves in the ring or throw their weight in the political field, what is interesting you in them? What are the things that are making you say that, you know what, I feel like this person's message resonates with my issues, or I resonate with what they're saying? That is what I would like to hear from you. The hashtag to use is the bottom line KE. I have Joe Halende, who's joining us virtually. And of course, we have Honorable Nerea, who's also here with us, MCA. And of course, he's definitely, she's also giving us her line of thought on all those issues. But before we continue with this particular conversation, we just have some news just in it. Of course, it's some sort of confirmed breaking news. Ofafa Jericho School is actually there's been a fire incident that has been reported in that particular school, and the good news coming from St. John Ambulance Kenya is that the fire has been contained. Several students sustained burns, while others developed breathing difficulties after inhaling smoke from the fire. The casualties have all been evacuated to Metropolitan Hospital in Buruburu. If you have a relative in that particular school, Ofafa Jericho, you should be able to try and check out at Metropolitan Hospital in Buruburu. That breaking news one more time. Ofafa Jericho has reported a fire incident, but St. John Ambulance is reporting that that fire has been contained and several students have sustained burns while others developed breathing difficulties after inhaling smoke from the fire. The casualties are reported to have been taken to Metropolitan Hospital in Buruburu. We wish all of them quick recovery, and that particular story or that particular development will be updated in the course of this particular program. Back to our conversation, Nerea, we were talking about why now? The current contenders of the political battle in 2022 are now coming out with promises, but the question is, why now? Where were they all this time? For a new entrant, we could understand, but for those who've been there in our time in the history of our politics, the question is very key. Where were they to be able to deliver on these particular promises? You've been able to highlight why you feel Raila Odinga should be vindicated from that kind of line of thought or question. Joe Halende has also said that, you know what, the deputy president now wants that mandate, full mandate, because the buck stops with the president, not the deputy or any other person. And he feels that if given that chance, he'll be able to deliver on all these particular issues. Now back to the current trends, what we're seeing today. We're still seeing alignments being formed. There's still some shaping and reshaping of the tectonic plates, so to say, in the political nature of our country. The former prime minister is traversing the country, trying to make inroads. But there are those who are saying that, you know what, Baba might not run. Baba might not run. Baba might not run. We have a political analyst who has even said that if Raila Odinga ran today, in the current state of affairs, he stands no chance of beating Deputy President William Ruto. The odds do not favor former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. How do you feel being a person who that is your party leader?
I mean, very, very, very interesting perspective. And I think the name of the DP has come in. This is a very healthy conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, before I respond to you, you made reference to a 1965 session of paper number 10 that President Kibaki relied on upon becoming president.
Yeah.
So maybe the deputy president already has his equivalent of session of paper number 10.
Yeah.
And can he show Kenyans? Because as far as we know, there is nothing. Yeah. It's all about his slogan. So I think when you make reference to history, and that's why I say ODM and Raila Amolo Odinga are the best at history, you need to use the right references, because I do not think you have that. So that's why I cannot trust the DP to deliver on a paper that he has not even produced. So apart from all that, I mean, if I do not find Raila Amolo Odinga's name on that ballot paper, I will take it as my civic duty to write that name and proceed to vote for him. That's how serious we are. And I am, as a member of ODM, as a supporter and as a lover of Raila Amolo Odinga's political ideology.
Utachukua kalamu, you take a pen and paper and add his name.
Nitaandika na nitapatia Raila kura. And let me tell you, you cannot even convince people that have waited for a Raila Amolo Odinga presidency that he will endorse somebody else. And let me tell you, if you want somebody to be endorsed, my friend, there is no route to endorsement. There is no route to endorsement if you don't look for votes. Because so far, and I mean credit to your party leader, he's the only one that looks like he's serious and is looking for votes. So far, he's the only one.
Looks like
he's serious.
So he's not yet there.
He's not yet there. Not in the level that Raila Amolo Odinga has looked for and is still continuing to look. Let me tell you, there's nothing as painful as doing the best for a country and they keep rejecting you either on the ballot or through the system and then proceed for the next 5 years to suffer the consequences of their poor political choice as you watch and as they clamor for Raila Amolo Odinga to go out to the street and save them. Right now, what I tell anybody who is saying, oh, where is Raila Amolo Odinga to talk about this issue, the taxes, we are being squeezed, oh, Kenyans, oh, the government. But I'm asking them, when Raila Amolo Odinga was going out to fight, you said, oh, this man just likes fighting. This man likes tear gas. Granted, I mean, being Lua have led many of those strikes. Kula tear gas kabisa. And it has brought fruits. So right now, we are offering Kenyans an opportunity not to cry anymore. We are offering Kenyans a Raila solution. You know, my governor says we are giving Kenyans a product that is marketable, that is sellable across the whole country. And you can see that even if you are going to climb that, we have the right shoes. We have gumboots to climb the mountain. And we are already climbing. We are asking Kenyans of goodwill. And this I want to ask in a very humble manner. We are asking you to avoid the tears you shed after every election. Because we are serious and we are giving you Raila Amolo Odinga and we are saying that you vote for him to avoid all these tears. Please avoid UDA because they have only learned and they are escalating the pain that they have caused to Uhuru Kenyatta. If you have seen Uhuru Kenyatta in his wisdom, leaving the DP aside and choosing to work with Raila Amolo Odinga, he has seen the error of his ways. Even the Bible says that Saul was converted and became Paul, and saw the light. So Kenyans, I am pleading with you once again that we have the solution. Please do not go the way of tears. We are tired of going to the streets for you. Nerea Mundi Okech, I am tired of going to the streets as an ODM member, as an ODM supporter. Please, this chance, take it. So that you do not come back again and start saying, oh, we thought that the wheelbarrow was a pretty thing to carry. Oh, we thought that something called bottom-up was attractive because we see people talking about it. It is not attractive. It is not attractive to Kenyans.
Let me bring it, Joe. Joe, I mean, I see you cracking. I mean, I wish you were here physically. I mean, present right here on set. And I think the question I just want to throw to you, Deputy President William Ruto himself has also said, si lazima, it's not a must that I be on the ballot come 2022. Same way I've just asked Nerea if Raila Odinga is not on the ballot 2022, what happens? She's said she will personally write his name on that ballot paper and actually go ahead to vote. What would be that scenario if Deputy President William Ruto says, you know what, si lazima, this thing is not a must. You know what, I'm si lazima. What kind of scenario would that be? Would we be saying, you know what, we have grown from personality-based politics to issue-based. It doesn't matter whether you are the candidate for UDA. We believe in the doctrine of UDA, of bottom-up, so we don't care, even if they put you, Joe Halende, as the presidential candidate for 2022 for UDA.
Eugene, let me exercise my right of reply. When I was referring to Kibaki saying his sensational paper, I was referring to his idea. And the Deputy President idea is towards a new bottom-up economic model for Kenya. That is his sensational paper. So when I'm referring to Kibaki, I'm referring to the idea that Kibaki had and placed it on the sensational paper. And the idea that the Deputy President, William Ruto, is talking about is the idea of having a bottom-up economic model that can enable and empower the people at the bottom of the pyramid so that we can all enjoy the economic prosperity and the inclusivity in this country. To your question, 2022 is a two-horse race. It is between Right Honorable Amolo Odinga and William Samoei Ruto. The rest of the characters you are seeing around, they will just find their way among these two camps. Forget about this sideshow, that third force, that we want to have a coalition. At the end of the day, the Kalonzos, the Okoa, the Oka, these other characters will either be in bottom-up economic model under the Hustler Nation movement in UDA, or they will be under the Azimio la Umoja in ODM. Those are the two horse race. But the best thing that is going to happen for this country, and today I was having a conversation with my peers, and I told them that we have been given an opportunity as a country to interrogate our presidential candidate for the race 2022. And the best thing that we can do, and the way we are doing it through your platform, Eugene, that you have given us, we are interrogating the bottom-up economic model, and we are interrogating this as Mio La Umoja. What is it for us Kenyans in these two economic model or in these two campaigns team? And that is what we should interrogate. Forget about these other presidential candidates. They had their time. They did not utilize it very well. Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has been in politics for over 30 years. That sasa amefika sahi at the end of the almost now the race is starting and he endorses somebody else. You cannot tell me that the 30 years that the DP has invested in politics for him to reach at this level and give us an idea, a vision and a plan and give it to somebody else to implement. Today, my big brother Eugene, nobody can implement the vision and the plan that you have for this show. You are the driver of this show. So there's no way you can tell me that Raila Amolo Odinga is going to endorse Kalonzo to sponsor or execute the Azimio La Umoja vision. It is Raila who has that vision. There's no way you can tell me that the Deputy President, William Ruto, tomorrow is going to endorse Moses Kuria for him to implement the bottom-up economic model, for him to implement the manifesto of Hustler Nation. There must be a bearer of that vision. There must be somebody who has sacrificed for this vision and this mission to be achieved. So there is no way. These other characters will find their way into that. Yes.
And that is where now the problem is. And this is where our conversation is actually rested on. Issue-based politics. But what the two of you have just said is personalized, personality-based politics. You know, Joe Halende has said it is Ruto. No one else can actually implement what Ruto's vision is. You, as Honorable Nerea has said, it is Raila Odinga. And if he's not there, then I would... is the political party, for example, that is actually spearheading conversations around issues to do with climate change, issues to do with taxes, economic models, and blah blah blah, rather than the person that is the party leader of that political party or political organ. I think you mnatuangusha sana.
Wait. Let me give you a perspective that is very true and very real.
Yeah.
I speak of a vision bearer.
Yeah.
So in a character.
In the question, what happened?
In a character, because the reason why I say passionately that Kenya needs a Raila Amolo Odinga presidency is because all through the year, systematically, he has been able to look at the systems and structures that are not working or delivering service fair service to all Kenyans, regardless of tribe, race, sex, everything. Because Kenyans have, he saw that there's a need, and he has worked on it piecemeal across the years. The other thing that I keep telling Kenyans not to forget is for someone to effect that change, he has already shown you, this is how I think we need to structure it, or we need to restructure it. This is how we need to handle the issue of this rampant corruption in this country. This is how we need to handle the issue of, the youth population that is bulging, and yet we cannot take them anywhere.
But that cannot be a one man.
And that's why I say that you will trust a vision bearer that will make sure that they input the right systems, the right people, the right resources to make sure that aspect of Kenya is modeled, and then leave the country taking off. And that, I'm very clear in my mind that is a route I want to take. If you listen to a lot of the people that have never voted for Raila Amolo Odinga, they will tell you that they wish they had started looking at this thing, 10, 15 years ago. They would have had something of a different model of Kenya. I mean, I can tell you for free, in terms of corruption, we have countless numbers of examples. I mean, we were supposed to have 6 stadia constructed in this country. I cannot trust the man that can lie straight to my face. A man can try and sell ice to the Eskimos. He can try and tell God that God, you really do not exist. And yet he says that he was in Christian Union, he's saved. That man, I have a problem with trusting that. The person who is bearing the vision. Because right now he's trying to twist the language and say that we need to start thinking of how this bottom up is working, who is Mama Boga, who is what. But then you have to ask him the question, why then is he the chair of IBEC? Because that is where counties and national government look at how to coordinate programs and resources between counties and national government. And I even saw one time that former deputy governor Mweke denying that the DP has not been given an opportunity to be functional, and yet he had even chaired a session in March this year.
Right.
So, I mean, we cannot deal with misconceptions and half-truths and mistruths all the time. I think we need to be real, and that's why I say that I will trust the person that has proved to me over time that it is possible. Inawezekana, azimio la umoja, meaning we need to carry along each and every person, each and every tribe, man, woman, young person with disability, to make sure that we are moving forward to a new Kenya. And the systems and structures will be modeled so that upon Raila Amolo Odinga exiting the presidency, after 10 years, we are going to have a Kenya that we can be proud of. I say that without apology.
It's going to be 10 years.
I am very
It's not what
confident.
we are hearing from the corridors that just one-term president, 5 years only.
Kenyans are going to demand that Raila becomes president I can tell you they will demand.
Tano tena.
They will demand. I will tell you, you will demand. The current deputy president will demand, because we will have 12 stadia instead of the 6 that you promised and didn't deliver.
Right. Let's have Joe Alende before we take that particular break and pay some bills. Joe, I mean, you have the word as well, just like Nerea has said, and it's the same question. This seems to be personality-based politics. If it is not William Ruto, no one else can carry the vision of bottom-up. It is his vision, and I want to make it clear. Today, I could be hosting this show. Tomorrow, I have Nelima, who I really trust. She can also sit on this seat and host this particular show. I have Nelly, who's just watching us right now, Simon, and the rest. They can still host this particular show. So I want to tell you that for a fact. But for you, you've said it is the deputy president. And if it is not him, there's no one else who can be trusted with their vision. And that is my question. Can we have issue-based? Can we say UDA carries this? Whether it is Joe Alende running as president or not, the vision will be delivered. That's the question I'm asking. How can that be?
Eugene, let me first ask for my right of reply.
Yes.
You see, the problem with ODM, they suffer from selective amnesia. Every time I see the two brothers are in Kisumu, they always inspect the stadium in Kisumu. So when you're talking about stadia, you should know that one stadium is in Kisumu, and actually it's under construction, and the two brothers always inspect. So don't say that William Ruto lied to Kenyans.
For clarity
when you
purposes,
go to Kirinyaga,
for clarity
there's always
purposes,
a stadium
who are the two brothers? For
that
clarity
the PS
purposes.
for interior. When
For
you go
clarity
to
purposes, who are the two
Kirinyaga,
brothers?
there's always a stadium. There's always a stadium that the PS Kibicho always inspect. When you go to Rift Valley, there's always a stadium the ministry, Amina Mohammed, always go to inspect. So at times when you try to bring in the normal narrative that ODM tries to run away to try to bring about corruption.
Let's hear him. Let's hear him. He has the right to reply.
There's
the handshake. Please include that in your statement. It is not complete.
All right, go ahead, Joe.
Yes. So, to your question, why am I saying that William Ruto is the vision bearer? The way Mheshimiwa Nerima has answered you, the vision bearer, it is this presidential candidate. But as a party, as UDA party, as Hustler Nation, we have said these are the certain things that we want to achieve as a government, or we are promising Kenyans. In the event that William Ruto is not on the ballot, we will look among the hustlers that we have and somebody who can take over and we move on. Because the movement Hustler Nation, it has its ideology, it has its economic model, it has its plan, it has its agenda. But currently, the vision bearer, it's William Samuel Ruto, whom we have said that if given an opportunity, these are the certain goals, these are the plans that we need to achieve. And we move on. But there's one thing that I also concur with you, Eugene. For a very long time, our politics has been on personality cult. And we need to change it. Our political parties have been surviving because of certain individuals within those political parties. That is our history. We cannot run away from it. The only thing that we can do, we can learn from our history and be able to change it so that we can move forward as a country.
Right.
How I wish that in this country we can have strong national political parties like the ANC in South Africa, like CCM in Tanzania.
Joe, you're shooting yourself on the foot. Joe, you're shooting yourself on the foot. You are affiliated to the UDA, and you're saying how you wish we had strong political parties. I'm trying to insinuate that the UDA is not a strong political party.
I'm not insinuating.
How I wish we had
we must be objective.
On top
Eugene,
of UDA.
Eugene.
Yes.
Eugene, I cannot just sit here.
First of all, accept it.
I'm not shooting myself. What I'm trying to say is that as much as I'm a UDA supporter, I'm a UDA supporter, and I strongly believe in UDA, and I will fight, and I will help UDA to be a strong national political party.
So it is not yet as we speak. That's
what not that it is say. Not yet. We are actually that's what we are doing currently. Because one thing I like with our worthy competitor, who are ODM, I like about ODM is that ODM has been able to sustain itself as a strong national political party. And we must give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. We give tick to ODM, and we learn from it. And that's what we are doing in UDA. And that's what we are asking from other political players. And the best way, if ethnicity is a problem, if inclusivity is a problem, the best way to solve it is to have strong national political parties that goes across our ethnic background.
Right. I want to read these particular comments before we take a very short break. Faith Kipchumba on Facebook. I'm actually on Facebook. If you're live streaming right about now through our Facebook link, kindly leave a comment. Give us your feedback on the statements that you're hearing on this platform tonight from our panelists tonight. Faith Kipchumba says, criticizing one political party doesn't necessarily mean supporting the other. It means focusing on issues that the other alternative should focus on. This is what she says. Brian Okech says that the conversation seems to be changing. Politicians right now are playing issue-based politics. The question, however, is, will the conversation conversation change completely? Will we now have more mature politics that focuses on us, the people, or the moment elections are done and they have finished tapping into our emotions, they'll go back to factory reset and continue playing politics of division and insulting each other, competing on who has the loudest of the mouth? Thank you so much, Brand, for that. And then he comes back to say, Nerea yawa. Nelly Gladys says, Nerea is on fire. She came prepared. Smart one. Thank you. Conversation ya leo ni fire sana. This is from Paul Karaoke. Thank you very much. Another one says, you can't be a Raila Odinga supporter and not have content. There you go. Forwarded as received. Asante sana. Joy Mark says, spot on. Fellow Canaanites, stay strong. We will soon get home. These are the feedback, or these are the comments that we're receiving across our Facebook page. Of course, on Twitter, the hashtag to use or to follow is the bottom line KE, which I'll be just definitely looking at when we come back from the break. I want you to keep them coming. The hashtag is the bottom line KE. We take a very short break right about now. And of course, that particular breaking news still scrolling on your screen right about now. We'll definitely be able to give you any new details as soon as it emerges. But Kangware Finest on Twitter says, Nerea is playing low. The members of the Hustler movement know explicitly what bottom-up economy model is. Let's be frank about it. Nerea should be objective, not subjective in this discussion. Nerea, hold your thought. I know you really want to respond to him, but I want you to come back on that when we come from the break. Stay with us. This is the final installment of the Bottom Line KE when we come back. Stay with us. Don't go too far.
Grow your business, broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries, then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700-893-542
or email us on sales@look-up.tv.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Welcome to Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. When you first come in, we will be happy to receive you at our reception, then proceed to our cozy and well-equipped accommodation facilities. We aim to provide our guests with a unique, comfortable, and worthwhile experience. Here at Look Up Guest House, we provide our guests with a continuous supply of room amenities. A cool environment for all your retreat activities.
Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. For reservation, contact us on info@lookupguesthouse.org or call us on 0746 788 707. Career Guide.
Don't let anyone tell you what choice is best for you. Ignore those who say, pick this field because it has lots of opportunities right now, or you will make loads of money, so it doesn't matter if you hate your job, or I like this career, and therefore you will too. Although they may be well-meaning, these statements are among the many myths about career choices.
Career Guide. Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Lookup TV movement now. Now.
Right, thank you so much for still being with us. Of course, this is the final installment of the show tonight, The Bottom Line KE, right here on Lookup TV. We want to say thank you very much for choosing us. My name, as always, is Eugene Dangwe. Right here on the program, we are discussing the issue of whether the country can achieve issue-based politics or we will stick to the personality-based politics. Of course, we are joined by Joe Halende, who's joining us virtually. And of course, in studio, we have Nerea Amondi, who's here with us, MCA Homa Bay. Thank you so much for still being with us right here on the program. Before we went for the break, there was actually a concern by one of the viewers who was actually feeling that you're being subjective and not objective. True or not true? What would you tell him?
Eugene, I think sometimes I would love for your producers to replay a clip of Mheshimiwa Alice Wahome making an attempt at explaining what bottom-up is. I think I don't need to respond to that. I mean, it's out there. Everybody knows. Every attempt has. You have to write paragraphs. You've seen Dennis Itumbi writing paragraphs upon paragraphs trying to explain. So, well, maybe, maybe there's a shrine at Karen, at the DP's residence, that they explain it in detail, because I keep seeing people going there. There are people who are there on a daily basis. I see Mheshimiwa Soro every day. I see Mheshimiwa, Senator Omanga there every day. Maybe they're being trained to come and explain it better. I do not understand where the problem is, but I think maybe UDA should convene a special workshop to explain what this is, what all your slogans mean, because you confuse Kenyans. You talk about one thing, then the following day you are on about people carrying the wheelbarrow. The next thing, an MP cannot explain it, and she has been the one championing it, and a lawyer for that matter. Very embarrassing sometimes. And I don't think we need to dignify, that with all of these flowery languages about it. Maybe we need to have another conversation.
On this model.
On this very particular topic. How Kenyans understand it, how Kenyans misunderstand it, so that then it can inform, this good attempt at campaigning for the presidency.
But then I think this is where probably those who are criticizing the way your party leader and the rest are actually politicking is because instead of selling their agenda, their manifesto, their model, they're busy interrogating the deputy president's model, and that is where you probably lose an opportunity to win a vote here and there. But probably let me bring in Joe Halende. Joe, there's a tweet from Kangare Finance who says that it's becoming so hard for you to convince another panelist if Deputy President Ruto is the solution for Mwananchi. Things are getting thicker by the day. Perhaps DP means well for Anjiko. Things are getting thicker to be able just to explain why the Deputy President is the right solution for the Kenyans. Just real quick, just to be able to have a right of reply to these particular tweets that are coming in.
The bottom line is this. I cannot be able to convince Mheshimiwa Nerea why William Ruto is the most suitable candidate, because Nerea has already made up her mind. She's a name CEO of ODM party. She has already stated categorically that come 2022, if Raila Odinga will not be on the ballot paper, she will write Raila's name on that ballot paper and vote for Raila. So I cannot be able to convince Nerea. Maybe the day Jesus will come back, Nerea will get converted. But to answer his question,
yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that one thing I like with the Nerea is that she's open.
Yeah.
She's able to convince other people who are still on the fence to join Raila's bandwagon. Yeah. And I'm also here on the panel to be able to convince those who are not yet converted so that they can listen to this gospel about bottom-up economic model. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about bottom-up economic model, it's basically about the people at the low of the pyramid being able to be empowered, being able to be given an opportunity where they can maximize their potential and grow.
Joe, how?
That is basically
the question
what
that most
about.
People always ask. Where is the how? I'm sure, and I know that we'll have a very longer session to be able to discuss and interrogate all these models, probably even have the candidates to defend them here. But just real quick, how? The how is the key important question here.
Quickly, bottom-up economic model strives on 3 pillars. One of the pillars is employment and income creation. The next pillar is finance development, and the last pillar is about leadership and governance. Let me start with leadership and governance. Leadership and government is basically on politics and the state. Politics, let us do politics differently this time round. Let us do politics on issue-based. Let every leader be given an opportunity to share his manifesto, to share his vision and the plan for the people, and be able to be elected on that platform, not on the platform of his ethnic background. Then on the state is that let us have a state that respect the rule of law, respect human rights, and give access to justice, and an inclusive government that support devolution, which is helping people at the low of the pyramid. On finance development, we are talking about expanding our tax base, bringing in models that can be able to give our local people, the Mamamboga, the Boda, and access to capital. Today, Shylocks and these fintech companies are milking Kenyans dry because they are charging Kenyans a high interest. And the simple reason is that the government has run away from being able to provide access to finance to these young businesses, to these businesses that can be able to grow. The government has failed to give a conducive environment. The government of today is telling the traders in River Road that a phone case that they have imported, it is a counterfeit, so they are going to ban. A government of today is telling traders in a River Road that you cannot join together as five guys and be able to fill a container from Dubai or from China. Let every trader be able to buy a full container from China.
And that
that's the trade. We are talking about a government that has criminalized
that
government economic
that
enterprise.
Government includes
in Hustler Nation, we are saying
William Ruto,
we want to decriminalize.
Yeah, but that government includes Deputy President William Ruto, no?
But I've told you the buck stops with the president on that issue.
But when the deputy president is meeting people in these rallies, which people have actually started calling super spreaders, not just him, but all the other politicians who are doing these rallies, he says, tumejenga reli, tumejenga barabara, leta hii na hile. Why is it that at that point he's able to associate himself with those good things, but this one you say that the buck stops with the president? You
see, Eugene, even Nerea has told us that when you have a good relationship and an understanding in your relationship, things go away. And right now, within that relationship, there are certain issues that the deputy president might have had his opinion, but his opinion was not accepted.
Right.
And these are some of the issues, and that's where they differ.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
So on employment and income, we are talking about supporting the agriculture sector, whereby we tell our people to invest in high crop value. So the crops that you know, for simple reason, from the region I come from, and the Honorable Nerea comes from, we are a sugar belt region. But the truth of the matter that our people are not being told that today sugarcane is not a high value crop. Dairy farming can prosper in that region. Investing in other crops can, like investing in other agriculture options like dairy farming, can give us a better feedback than in sugarcane. And this is the conversation I honestly want our people to have.
Joe, can I ask you, before I go back to Nerea, I don't want you to lose your line of thought, but just want to ask you a quick one. You said that under the bottom-up economic model and under the governance or presidency of Deputy President William Ruto, the youth will have access to capital, or those who want to do business in the bottom of the pyramid will be able to have, access to capital. And you said the Shylocks today, the fintechs are actually charging very high interest rates. What are the interest rates under Deputy President William Ruto presidency that we're going to be looking at?
The Deputy President is talking about his government creating a fund. And for simple example, he said that today we have CDF. In his government, they will create another fund through the same system of CDF, whereby the mama bogas and the people within the border industry and the small businesses that we have can be able to access those funds.
All right, so there will be some money somewhere for them to just go.
Government coming in, it will force the banks and the private sector and the Shylocks who have been milking Kenyans to automatically bring down their interest.
So what you're saying is there'll be a fund somewhere where the young people will be able, and the mama bogas will be able to go and just request for that money to be given to them under interest, as a loan, as a grant, as a handout, as what?
This one is a grant. You see, a simple example. the other month, we had a serious debate in this country, whereby which was about the Deputy President visiting in Uganda. And there's a simple example in Uganda. The Museveni government has created a wealth fund where the farmers can be able to access funds to help them buy high-value seeds. They can be able to buy equipment that can help them to support the agriculture. Doing agriculture in Uganda, it's very cheap compared with Kenya. I come from Busia at the border. The people in Busia are selling their land in Busia, going and buying land across the border, Busia, Uganda. For simple reason, doing agriculture in Uganda, it is at a low cost. But doing agriculture in Kenya, it's expensive. And basically, by introducing this fund, you automatically give capital to the small farmers to be able to access seeds. And at the end of the day, as a government, you help them by enabling them to access the market.
Right.
And you create a conducive environment.
Okay.
This is the conversation that we can have.
Okay, it's a conversation that we can have, and I'm hoping that our viewers are going to be interrogating that particular explanation, and we'll be happy to see what they make out of it. Nerea, same question. Baba says 7 years for young people. You know what? You will not pay taxes. Tax holiday, 7 good years. You know, that's a whole term for a government plus 2 extra years.
Yes.
How do we manage that in a country that, you know, is relying on taxes to also still be able to run its affairs? I mean, how practical is this? Every candidate is talking about reducing the taxes in the country. Just explain to us.
I mean, I think I want to marry that with his explanation of what UDA believes is a bottom up. I mean, he described very well social democracy.
Yeah.
He described very well civic nationalism. Yeah. If you hear and listen, and so it also just tells me that the Deputy President is a very good student of Raila Amolo Odinga when it comes to the things that matter, to Kenyans, and so he's trying very much to look at the style and structure of how he can do things.
Yeah.
Coming back to talking about the tax holiday, I think in line with that we are looking at having a youth commission. And also we are looking at having a business incubator program that will pick the young people, give them business training that is relevant to what they would like to do, and then support those businesses through a fund until they mature. Because I mean, research tells us a lot of micro and small businesses die before end of year one, and many of them that make it to end of year two do not survive up to the fourth year, and mainly because either the market forces are not, information is not perfect, or either they do not have enough business support. So I look at this as a very good thing, because number one, rather than have or offloading young people and then burdening them with, number one, repayment of help, right? When they do not have a business that is mature and making money, when they do not have a job, because right now, even under the government, we don't have 1 million jobs as promised for the young people. So that solution in itself is it's a right step. Looking at it from where I sit, it's a step to make sure that even my child that is, finishing university will have time to either learn business or then also have time to get access to a job opportunity, because it doesn't mean that if you have a secured employment that you do not pay. Yeah. That's not what it means. It means when you have it, because it's mandatory now for you to provide your details of the HELB loan, such that by the time a young person is accruing arrears, the government is aware and doing something about it.
Yeah, but so, Nerea, let's be practical. Yeah. Let's be practical, Nerea. I think politicians like you, your party leader, the deputy president, and the rest, I think they're just telling us what we'd love to hear, but they're not telling us the devil in the detail. How practical? Let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about percentage. If you're saying 7 years of tax holiday, what is the percentage in terms of what we will cut out of the collection, revenue collection? And how will that impact the delivery of services based on what the government would have delivered if those 7 years were paid by these young people? How practical would that be?
Let me tell you one thing. We keep ignoring the fact that not every young person will be going into business. Yeah. So we are saying that if you look at our Bureau of Statistics data right now, we are saying between 0 to, we have about 13.6 million young people that are currently present that we need to think about. Yeah. So one thing that you look at is how many of them will go into employment. We are not proposing a solution that is not that is unreasonable and unworkable. Yeah. What we are going to do is to have a data bank of every young person that's offloaded, where they are, what they're doing, those who are in business, those who are employed, those who are just starting out, where they are in the business life cycle, so that then as we look at how to expand the tax base for those who have already gone over and above, because I look at this country, the tax base is still not widened enough, because we still have a lot of small and micro enterprises that are being run by people outside of the youth bracket that have not been brought in. So as soon as we have information, then we will be able to know, because one of the things that we have seen as a proposal from my party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, is to partner, devolve NYS, and then partner with businesses in the counties to be able to have internship and attachment. So you are going to know where everybody is. So we are not just saying that we are creating an economy where we are giving people free things. We are creating an economy where we are aware of literally every person and where they are at in terms of the economy, and then how do we plug that into viable businesses?
Nerea, that information, you can get it from National Institute of Statistics today if you wanted it, no? Are we going to wait until we get that information from the presidency of Raila Odinga?
And that is what has informed our agenda, because we know that it is supposed to be consumed and packaged and consumed. Where we are right now, there have been attempts to package and consume it in that manner. And I think they're one of my friends that are in the, doing a lot of great work. I just saw recently KYEOP gave grants to youth, over 30 million worth of grants to a group of youth from a county. Think of that money as an investment, because one thing we keep talking about what it costs Kenya to make sure that we restructure how to support the youth population. What we do not think about is what it costs us not to restructure the youth population. The same thing we talk about the issue of women in leadership. We keep thinking, okay, we bring in more women, we are going to spend a lot more money. But then if we do not bring in the women, then what are we? We are losing the talent in terms of leadership, the talent in terms of technology of the women who are locked out by all these barriers that do not let them come in. So I don't want us to look at it from the cost. I look at it from the benefit. And Raila Amolo Odinga under ODM is ready to do the math, is ready to support the young population because that is what he has fought for. He started fighting for this country when he was a youth. So we need to give him a chance right now because otherwise it will be too late if we wait another 5 years.
Right. I'm told we are running out of time, but before we go, I mean, I think in every meeting there's always A or B, and I want to bring some A or B right here, and I want to start with Joe Halende, just very briefly. Joe, Moses Kuria, I mean, from where you sit, this man is giving you guys sleepless nights, or what? This is what he said. Moses Kuria said UDA is too young to have bragging rights. Moses Kuria said UDA is is a one member, is one of the members of the Hustler Nation. The Hustler Nation cannot be owned by any particular individual. This is a man who many people had always seen as, you know, he's going to help, you know, spear or spur the growth of UDA. But here he is today telling you in your face, you do not have bragging rights. You cannot claim the Hustler Nation. You're just one of the members of the Hustler Nation. What are you telling him? What are you reading from what Moses Kuria is saying?
Moses Kuria is not giving us sleepless night. In fact, he's my very good friend. I've worked with Moses Kuria during the Mbele Ikosawa campaign. I've worked with Moses Kuria during the Musambweni by-election. I've worked with him in the recent by-election in Kiambu and Juja. And I think I understand Moses Kuria. Moses Kuria are these mischievous kids that you always have around. What you only do, you allow the young man you give the young man space to grow and be able to understand this thing. Because one thing that Moses Kuria has categorically said is that he's still within Hustler Nation. Hustler Nation is a movement that is forming towards a political party called UDA. So at the end of the day, if you are in Hustler Nation, your political party, it's UDA.
No,
and
Joe, there's a difference between a party and a coalition. Coalition is a collection of parties.
Is not a coalition.
Moses has said he's not folding up. He's not folding up his party, so he's not joining the UDA.
And if Hustler Nation is, if the people who are trying to portray Hustler Nation as a coalition, the only coalition and understanding that we have in Hustler Nation is with the people, not with leaders who want to masquerade around and position themselves in the sense that instead of to safeguard their self-interest. Hustler Nation talks about people across the whole country, from Todonyang down to Budalangi in Isieko, down to Ikonyero there in my village. So Moses Kuria should not hoodwink us in Hustler Nation. One thing we have said is that we cannot chase Moses Kuria away.
Because you need him.
He's one of us.
He's an asset.
Not that we need him as an asset. He's one of us in Hustler Nation. But the direction that we are going as Hustler Nation, we are going into the direction of a political party called UDA. And from a history perspective, I've accused ODM of being a historian. Let me also quote history. If you go in South Africa, when the people were fighting apartheid, they had a movement, but when they joined the political system, they migrated or they moved into a political party called ANC. So in Hustler Nation, that's the movement that we started. But now we want to quickly fold the movement and join the political machine, the political party that is going to give ODM run for their money, called UDA.
Yeah. But
we accept that we are the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
We accept that. That is the reality. We cannot run away from it.
Yeah.
But we have gained the momentum that has scared a bigger political party that has been there for over years, like ODM. And now they want to form coalition with the Cerelac. They want to form coalition with any busybody around.
Yeah.
But for us, we have a strong political party.
Yeah, pardon me, the control team, but I want to ask this particular question because, and Nerea, you'll also weigh in just a bit on this. Moses Kuria has categorically said that there are irreversible, they call them irreducible minimums.
Yeah.
You, Joe Halende, seated there from the Luya community, which also has a right like any other community to have someone in the deputy president position. When you listen to Moses Kuria say that, the deputy president position is non-negotiable for the Kikuyu community or for the Mount Kenya region, what does that make you feel?
On the other side, one side, Moses Kuria is trying to take us back into those kind of tribal ethnic politics that we are trying to run away. But on this other side, it is a good conversation to have it within UDA and within our Hustler Nation movement. Because at the end of the day, the deputy president that is going to be in this country is going to be the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. He's not going to be the deputy president of the Republic of Mount Kenya, or it's going to be the deputy president of the Republic of Mulembe Nation.
Yeah.
For your case, I come from Busia County. Busia County, we had an opportunity, we had a vice president. If you ask today the people of Busia County, what did the position of the vice president brought to them? You will have funny answers. So at the end of the day, this kind of backyard barbaric kind of politics that we are trying to run away, and yes, it's there. It's Moses Kuria's opinion, but my opinion as a Hustler Nation member is that we can have that conversation within ourselves in the best way than in the retrogressive way.
Right, Nerea, you have the final word. Same question, how does that make you feel? 40% of all government appointments must be given to Mount Kenya University, Mount Kenya region. The deputy president position must. That one is not negotiable. This is what Moses Kuria says. But as you answer that, Jimmy Wanjigi is also giving you guys a run for your money, no?
I like those two things. Yeah. Number one, knowing how cunning UDA party is, led by their party leader, I wouldn't put it past him, to have instigated Moses Kuria to make those demands. And I can tell you, from where I sit, I do not trust that, he just woke up one day and decided to announce it. And because you have rightfully said that he still belongs to the Hustler Nation, so it means that you are also still perpetuating the same tribal politics. That tribal politics that you claim you're moving away from, I think you are still perpetuating it. So I will leave it to UDA to see how to handle Moses Kuria, because it's not our problem, DM. We have the benefit of wisdom and experience to have handled such a thing before it came out into the media. Yeah. So number two, the fact that we have Jimmy Wanjigi, who has been a friend of the ODM party for years, working and seeing the kind of leadership that Raila Amolo Odinga brings to this country. And now he has actually gone out and declared that he also wants to be tested with the ODM ticket. I like that, number one. I mean, I'm from Homa Bay. I was in Homa Bay, and he came to Homa Bay, he listened, people sat, they received him and wanted to hear what Jimmy Wanjigi has to say. I mean, granted, as a member of ODM and as an official of the ODM Women League in Homa Bay, I do not agree, because I've not seen my party leader or my secretary general coming out in public to say they endorse the message of Fagia Wote as a slogan for ODM. So I do not agree with that aspect of Jimmy Wanjigi, Jimmy coming in and purporting to change or come in with his own, slogan for the party. And that, I think, is why, we had a reaction or an overreaction in Migori County. But in terms of internal democracy, we have already seen that he's a friend. He has been given the space to move. He recently held a meeting in Siaya County. Yeah. So I will tell you that, yes, as a party, and as a party official and a member, I have my preferred presidential candidate in the person of Raila Amolo Odinga, and I ask for Kenyans to vote for Raila Amolo Odinga next year. But I'm also listening to anybody else who is interested And recently you saw, Governor Joho said that he's out of the race. Why? Because he has reconsidered what Raila Amolo Odinga has to bring to Kenyans. So with time and given the support, I remember there was one thing in 2017, it went around on social media, and we said, Jimmy Wanjigi has a sword, he has hidden the sword of power in Tanzania. We have been waiting for Jimmy Wanjigi to come and deliver the sword of power. Maybe this is his own formula of delivering the sword of power to Raila Amolo Odinga. So I do not take offense, but I would like him to do it within what ODM espouses in terms of ideology.
Right.
Yes.
Nerea and Joe Halende, many thanks for being part of this great conversation, which we have started here on Look Up TV. We hope to have continue on and on. Joe, Nerea said it is evident from just seeing, if someone is in a good relationship. So I'm hoping you're going to your loved one, and Nerea, your loved one is waiting for you. So we want to happily release you right about now. But I want to thank you also for watching the program. Thank you for being part of the conversation. It ends on these four walls, but continues across our social media platforms at Look Up TV on Twitter, at Eugene Anangwe. You can tweet me directly as well, but remember to add the hashtag #TheBottomLineKE. Let me say thank you to our teams that have been able to make this program a success, and for you for the tweets and being a part of this particular conversation. We will continue next time, same place. In fact, next Monday, it's a big one. Keep it on our social media platforms for that big announcement. We'll see you again, same time, same place. My name, as always, is Eugene Anangwe. Goodbye for now.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to views@look-up.tv. We can't wait to hear from you. Want to grow your business? Broadcast your